400 days have passed in my hardcore world, and I have yet to make an actual functioning mob farm for resources. Well, unless you count my wizard tower as a secret skeleton spawner, but that's beside the point. I want to farm creepers. See, I've had my elytra for quite some time now, but I am constantly running out of firework rockets due to not having enough gunpowder. So in today's video, we'll be building an alien UFO above our starter town that'll beam creepers down from above to net us unlimited gunpowder. After episode 8 was fairly chill and laid back, I hope you guys are ready for a pretty big episode today. Before we get into the plans though, I want to go ahead and give a few thanks to some viewers. So massive thank you for 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 becoming a tier 2 member, as well as Shadow supporting over on Ko-fi. 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 being a tier 2 member means we have to make them a villager. And after last episode, I was gonna make some of you guys villagers in the 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 mansion until I realized that this guy right here that's basically been here forever had never had a name before, or at least that I can remember. He didn't have one whenever I walked up to him, so I went ahead and named him 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏. I don't know how I missed this. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have to build an alien UFO in the sky, and to do that, I'm going to need a lot of materials. One of those materials being green glass, and every single time I need something green, I go to the desert and I farm a bunch of cactuses, but I think it's about time that we just build a cactus farm here, and what I'm thinking of doing is actually placing it right over here by the 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 mansion, so if I ever do go AFK and try to get as many of these as possible, we can also AFK the cactus farm that'll go right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start gathering some materials, and then we're gonna build this real quick. So the goal here is to create ourselves a cactus farm, but in the style of our original buildings in the town. As you guys know, I don't like my farms to necessarily look like farms, so we'll be going for a basic house design and simply store the farm on the inside. I started my material gathering by heading down into the Trowel Chamber Railway so I could find some caves for amethyst geodes to get calcite. After this, I went through the horrible pain that is chopping mangrove trees before I got a little distracted. Bro, I think this is the first time I've ever seen a frog. Oh my gosh, what a goat. Look at you, dude. But once I was done with that, I flew over to a desert to pick up the last cactus we'll need to gather by hand, and then I spent time chopping down a dark oak forest, followed up by a taiga. Alright, so I've spent quite a bit of time gathering materials. As you can see, we got some lanterns, some bricks, some cobblestone, leaves glass, and then a bunch of calcite, a bunch of different wood types. We have the cactus, of course, and hopefully this is going to fix all of our cactus woes. Now, I do want to model this building after what we were originally doing when I first started this town, where I kind of want to use some mangrove wood, some dark oak wood, as well as some calcite and cobblestone. I want to go with that kind of block palette because I still want to build some buildings in that style, and this is a building that I've had in my creative world for a while that I'm pretty excited to build today so that we can turn it into a cactus farm, and that way I don't have to keep going to deserts all the time just to get some green dye, especially because, you know, we're going to be building a UFO and we're going to need a lot of green for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully this build turns out pretty cool. So of course, to start things off, I went ahead and cleared out some land, and as you'll notice with this build, it isn't really supposed to be anything extravagant, but really just supposed to fit in with some of the other buildings in the area and to just simply house the cactus farm. So let's go ahead and go into detail on how we're going to get that set up. Alright, so after a little bit of work, we have ourselves a bit of a hollow shell going on because, of course, this is where the cactus farm is going to go. I wanted to build this together because it doesn't really take much of my brain power, and I can just kind of commentate while I do it. I'm going to go ahead and place these beehives right here, though. I've used these in actually a couple of my builds, and I don't know if you guys also feel the same way, but to me, they kind of just look like crates. I really wish that Minecraft would add some kind of storage crate, you know, that isn't a barrel to Minecraft, because this kind of has like the spruce texture to it. It would be really cool if we could have like an oak textured crate that we could store stuff in, because whenever you turn them around, they look like a crate. Whenever you have them forward, there's a little slit there that looks a little bit weird. But yeah, I really like the textures of these blocks. But anyways, let's go ahead and head on inside, and as you'll see, I went ahead and kind of marked out where the cactuses are going to go. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to place dirt and then a trap door, break the dirt, and then put the sand, and the cactus can then grow from there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for the bottom row and for the top row. You know, I remember seeing a video where somebody was talking about how the ancient city loot is pretty bad and worthless. I feel like they kind of forgot about Swift Sneak, because the fact that I can sneak and jump up and move as fast as I can while building is actually pretty sick. It's got to be one of the most underrated enchantments ever, and I feel like it's because a lot of people don't realize how good it is for building. But anyways, this is the bottom layer done, so I'm going to go ahead and pillar my way up to the top, and we'll go ahead and get the second layer going. All right, so now we have ourselves 2 layers that are done. I think I have enough. So now what we need to do is we need to throw up some fences, which I think are gonna go up here. Because yeah, you have the cactus right here, and then it'll grow up, and then it'll realize that there's something next to it, and then it'll pop off and fall down. So we gotta build up 1, 2, and then a fence. And yeah, we gotta do that all the way up here and all the way down there. All right, so this is the top layer done. I'm gonna go ahead and start planting these cacti because I'm gonna have to drop down anyways, and I don't wanna have to come back up here. So we're gonna go ahead and plant these, and then we'll do the lower row with the fence posts, and then we can actually set up the automation part of this farm. All right, so now we have ourselves the lower level completed. I'm gonna go ahead and just place the rest of these cactuses. And now all we have to do is just set up the, the collection system, which we're going to do down here. And I actually came up with a pretty, well, I don't want to say I came up with it, but it's a nifty little thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove these walls right here. And I'm going to go ahead and move over here too, and remove these. And then next, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna replace these with cobblestone stairs, and we're gonna be able to waterlog these stairs, and then have the water flow down to the middle. And we're gonna replace this little bottom half right here with hoppers that are gonna flow into a chest. So the chest is gonna be right there. We'll grab the hoppers and we'll place them like so. There we go. And then we can take these water buckets here, and I'm pretty sure this is everything. I don't think there's anything else I'm gonna have to do. This should be the farm absolutely complete. So we're gonna go ahead and take this water right here, make ourselves an infinite water source through these stairs. And yeah, as you'll see that they flow perfectly into the hoppers down below. And we're gonna go ahead and do this side as well. And yeah, that's basically the farm. I am gonna go ahead and grab some spruce trapdoors, and we don't really have any, so I'm just gonna go ahead and convert that. Go to this page, grab the trapdoors, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this side, and we're gonna trapdoor this. And then we're gonna go to this side, and we are going to trapdoor this. And just like that, looks like we have ourselves a big door. I could probably replace this with a spruce door. And you know, as it turns out, you can't put a door on top of a chest. Who would have thought? So we're just gonna pretend that that is a spruce door. But now we don't ever have to worry about not having enough green dye. And I decided to, of course, put it next to the 𝗏𝗏 Mansion because, you know, as time goes on, if we end up working over here, because I do want to expand the farm over here. I want to create a few more layers of this kind of automation. And as we AFK over here, because, you know, we can generate emeralds and we can generate golden carrots from that, we'll also be generating some cactus as well, which will be nice. So now I don't have to keep going to the desert to keep grabbing cactus over and over again. All right, so I was doing a little bit of work back here trying to, like, I don't know, clean it up a little bit because there was a lot of stone and everything back here looked a little messy because, you know, we just kind of fit in this building right here. And I heard a little noise and I decided, you know, let's go ahead and check it out really quick. And baby, oh, we got another one. These are, and another one. These, my friends, are our first ever cactus gains from a pretty, honestly, subpar farm. But hey, that doesn't matter. The building looks cool. And yeah, that really is all that matters, actually. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think, I'm probably gonna need to make a little road right there, aren't I? There we go. Got a little road action going on. I probably could have just, like, connected it across like that. But you know, what would be the fun in that? Anyways, we have ourselves a cactus farm that is complete. This is going to get us as much green dye / lime dye that we're going to need to build our UFO. So now I think it's about time that I go ahead and kick us into montage mode and grab up a lot of materials. Because yeah, we're going to need a lot of concrete for this build, a lot of glowstone, some iron trapdoors. It's going to be very expensive and it's going to take a lot of materials to build. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on that, and hopefully this doesn't take too long, because, yeah, I'd like to get this episode out sometime soon. And so I began with a bit of material gathering. Of course, we need white concrete for this build, and since I had a bit of sand in my chest left over at home, I went to a nearby ocean to gather up as much gravel from the floor as possible. We also got our skeleton farm back home, so white dye thankfully wasn't a problem either. What was, though, was needing to gather enough iron for the trapdoors, so I did do a bit of a caving trip to get all of that out of the way, and in between gathering a bunch of other things, I set up a concrete machine under the member mineshaft to automatically convert all the powder I had crafted straight into hardened concrete. Alright, so it has been a long while of gathering up materials, but I think we have the majority of the materials that we're going to need, but probably not all. So we got some shulker box action going on, we got plenty of green stained glass, some iron trapdoors, birch trapdoors, and slabs. We have a whole shulker box filled with white concrete. Then we also have some miscellaneous items, as you guys can see in here, as well as even more white concrete. Now, I want to make this build near our actual town because, I mean, anytime I've seen other people make creeper farms or just kind of any farm in general, they normally kind of go really far away to build them, but I like all of my builds being close together so that I can see them and still enjoy them. So instead of building this over like one big ocean, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this little pond over here, or this lake or whatever you'd call it, and I'm going to build the creeper farm over this. So we're probably going to go to about right here, maybe, and then go up like 200 blocks in the air and then start our build there. This is going to take quite a while, and I really hope that I don't die or do anything dumb because I'm going to be pretty high up for a pretty long time. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get that started. I need to get me some blocks that I can use to pillar up. You know, you'd think with how long I've had this world, I would finally just embrace scaffolding and, you know, just build a bamboo farm and do that. But, no, I'm pretty lazy. We build dirt towers around here. All right, so we have ourselves wow, we are exactly on cloud level right now. We have ourselves a little bit of a glass platform here. We are at Y195, which might be a bit high. Or maybe I want to go a little bit higher so I don't have to deal with these clouds. I mean, I guess technically I could just change the settings on where the clouds generate in my shaders, but let's see how annoying these clouds get. Let's see. It's about to make contact. It's about to make it is currently making contact. I'm currently in a cloud right now, and yeah, I can't really I can't really see much inside of the cloud, but I guess it doesn't matter because I'm mainly going to come up here to like AFK anyways. And the UFO is going to be like above this glass platform. So I guess the UFO being like barely above the clouds would be kind of cool. And if the platform kind of intersects with clouds, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this dirt tower. And this is how the clouds repay me, huh? I decided I don't want to build above you and you still rain on me. All right, so the dirt tower is now gone. I'm going to go ahead and I can't really see. Oh wait, no, I think I see it now. There we go. We're going to go ahead and elytra up. Good thing we're building this gunpowder farm because we're going to have to use a lot of fireworks to actually get up and down from here. But yeah, here we are. We have a glass platform with no clouds above us, but it's still raining, you know? That's just kind of how Minecraft works. Okay, so two things. Number one, I lowered the cloud altitude because it was driving me insane. I thought I'd be able to thug it out, but unfortunately, I couldn't. Next thing is I went ahead and built the little UFO beam. As you can see, there's a lot of leftover dirt because, well, you know, I had to like put a dirt and then put a lime and then put a dirt and then put a lime. But anyways, we have the little beam, and this is of course where the creepers are going to fall down out of, but of course it's trying to mimic, you know, them beaming creepers down to the world, or aka to this platform. And of course right here we're going to have like our chests and the hoppers and everything in between go. So the next thing of course is to begin construction on the actual UFO itself, which is going to take quite a lot of white concrete, and building the lights under it is going to be incredibly annoying, and I'm not looking forward to it. But I have plenty of glowstone here, and I have these iron trap doors, and I got all the white concrete, and this is going to take a long time to do, and I'm not ready for it, but sometimes you just got to thug it out. And thugging it out I did, as I began constructing the bottom layer and the central position where creepers will fall into, as well as a platform for snow golems. I've seen plenty of creeper farms that utilize cats to scare the creepers into a falling chamber, but the design I'm building is an altered version of one made by 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that I'll link in the description. Plus, I don't have to breed a ton of kitties now, and will only need like 4 snow golems to get what I want done. Aside from that though, you guys can see me completing the spawn chamber here, spawn-proofing spiders with slabs, and later placing trapdoors to ensure only creepers can spawn in here moving forward. Alright, so far, so good. The build is actually coming together, and essentially what we have is a glorified creeper spawn chamber right now, as well as, you know, just a big platform for other mobs to spawn. But if I go ahead and fly in here, you'll see that we basically have everything we need aside from the water down here. The inside is basically fully complete. All I need to do is get 4 snow golems, and I went ahead and kind of divided up this little area right here so we can put a snow golem there, there, and there. And I'll try to name them after some viewers. I'm not sure if they actually like, you know, despawn, but I want to do that just in case. So yeah, all we're really missing are the snow golems and the water down here, and to of course remove those torches. So before we actually finish the build, I'm just going to go ahead and get it fully functional, because I do want to have a big part, you know, a big dome on top of this right here to fully give it that UFO look. But I do want to go ahead and get the build itself functional. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, so I have the pumpkins and I have the snow. I don't have the name tags though. So I'm going to go ahead and fly back down to the town, grab some name tags, and then we're going to go ahead and install the snow golems and then do the hopper and the chests. And funnily enough, while recording this episode, we have a lot of new Ko-fi supporters. So shout out to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was a tier 1. We have Patrick over here with the tier 1, 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 with the tier 2, and Damian Collins with the tier 1. So I went ahead and got you guys some name tags, and I'm going to name you guys after the snow golems that we put in our farm. Oh, look how cool that looks from here, dude. I love that we just have a UFO just kind of hovering over, just kind of hovering over our little town here. But yeah, so here we are. We're on top of the UFO. Now, I just kind of need to find my way on over to where we can drop these guys down, which is looking to be right about here. And then we're just going to hit him with that. And so now we can push him into place by doing a little bit of nudge action. And there we go. That was a lot of trouble, but now we officially have all of the snow golems that we're gonna need. So I'm gonna go ahead and patch this up right quick. I'm gonna go ahead and torch the top of this UFO structure so that we don't have any more mobs spawning up here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and set up the hoppers and the chests, and we're gonna make sure that this farm actually works. Okay, so let's head on up to the UFO. Let's go ahead and plop ourselves down here. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and, let's see, this is 𝗁𝗁𝗏𝗏. We're gonna have the hoppers here. We can dig this out. Glass, you will be missed. And place a chest there. Dig this one out. Place a chest there. Then do a hopper here. Grab the chest again. Bam, bam. And then we can do hopper, hopper, hopper. Then I have some carpet action right here, so we'll throw those down. We have some smooth stone slabs that we can throw down right there. And I'm pretty sure the farm is done. I mean, obviously we're missing the decoration portion at the top, which is the most important. But from the looks of it, we have ourselves a disc a UFO disc, not quite a full UFO, but a UFO disc. So I'm gonna go ahead and fly to the top. Oh, I can hear zombies in there. Up there, they're getting attacked by the golems. Why are there zombies in there? There we go. Okay, get rid of the zombie. Did I not bring? I didn't bring any water buckets, did I? Ugh. Okay, I gotta go get water buckets and grab this, place water here. Now we get ourselves some infinite water that we can put into these corners like so. And these should be flowing into the fence gates, which are right behind me. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, that, and that. Okay, so all the water is now flowing into these fence gates, which is perfect. And now all we have to, oopsies. Now all we have to do is, okay. Now, now all we have to do is get rid of these torches, and the farm should be fully functional. Oh, it works perfectly, it would seem. We already have some creepers falling to their deaths, and we are already getting ourselves some gunpowder. Oh boy. That honestly, I mean, it's really not that hard to build a creeper farm. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty chill. We already have ourselves one that is working perfectly fine. I can go and use the free cam and show you guys what's going on from the inside. So as you guys can see, these creepers are spawning. The snow golems are throwing snowballs at them from all these different sides, which is gonna, you know, tick them off, and then they're gonna walk on over, fall into the water, and then they're just gonna, you know, basically get turned into chest fodder, which is exactly what we want. And of course, if I ever did want to make this into, like, I don't know, an XP farm for some reason, then I could, you know, heighten this a little bit so the creepers don't die immediately. And plus, I could also make it to where I'm using looting on these guys. But the whole point of this farm is for me to just go AFK at times. And I guess if I did want to, that is a funky looking cloud. That is really odd. Anyways, yeah, if I ever wanted to, you know, use looting on these guys, that I of course could raise this up by 1. But now the very next thing that we have to do is to go ahead and get ready and build the decorative portion, which is going to be at the top and is probably going to take the longest. Quick disclaimer, I am so mad that I cannot find the footage, but long story short, I decided to capture 2 pillagers from nearby camps, disarm them of their crossbows, and fly them to the top of the UFO so that we can have actual aliens man the ship. Since their skin is gray, I figured it would make sense, but anyways, here's the time lapse of me finishing up the build. If you can't tell, I'm going with a more retro style of UFO, more akin to flying saucers, and I'm throwing in a control panel to fly this thing with, as well as some generators to keep it powered and looking bright during the nighttime. I really love how this came out, not only functionally, but how it looks as well. Choosing to not build this far away from our starter town is honestly a decision I'm super glad I made, because I didn't want to make something like this and only be able to see it if I fly a few hundred blocks away, so seeing this just ominously floating above our town is going to be super cool. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the build is complete. So I can go ahead and give you guys a first-person tour of the little top portion here. As you can see, we got these little generators and, you know, these power sources off to the sides. We have the control panel right here, some other panels over there. And I went ahead and named the pillagers. We have Crypto137, which comes from the Destroy All Humans game, which is kind of what inspired this UFO to begin with. And then, of course, we have one of my childhood shows, Invader Zim, right here as well. So I think that this structure came out really nice. We even have the aliens inside to just really top things off to make it feel more alive. Now if I go ahead and grab this elytra, go ahead and slide all the way down here. As you can see, the farm is working beautifully. So yeah, this episode has been a long time in the making. If you guys are watching this and you don't know, for a couple months, I was without a computer because of a problem with my previous one. And that kind of put this episode on hold, because this episode should have been out in, like, I don't know, 2024. You know what I mean? Like, this episode should have been out forever ago, but it's finally out now, and hardcore episodes aren't going to have to take this long to make again, thankfully. But yeah, that is it for today's episode. I do want to end things off with the episode 9 comment of the day. So let's go ahead and roll on down to the basement. And this comment of the day I'm going to leave unknown, which says, unsubbing because I don't like your shorts that much. I want to watch your hardcore videos. And you know, that's a fairly rude comment to leave somebody, but I did want to make it the comment of the day, just to let you guys know that the only reason that I don't make more hardcore videos is that it's just not as popular, and I do these videos purely for the fun of it. I'm not really making these for the viewership, because if you look at the views on my hardcore episodes, there's just not really that many, and I love making these episodes, don't get me wrong, but I do want to prioritize the videos that the majority of people do like. So I'm never going to stop with the Let's Play episodes. These are purely made from a passion point of view. I'm making them just because I want to, not because I have to. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you guys some explanation as to why these don't come out as often. You know, aside from this episode with my PC breaking, and now I'm needing to record the end of this episode on my new one. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. The next episode, I promise, will not take this long to come out. And I did hope that you guys enjoyed this one despite the super long wait. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.